The US and Britain will launch trade negotiations by video conference today following the UK's exit from the EU, as both allies struggle with the effects of the coronavirus pandemic and aim to shore up domestic supply chains. But hopes the talks, Washington's first major new trade negotiation in 2020, will boost transatlantic relations could be scuppered by reports the White House could pull spy planes, intelligence officials and other U.S. assets out of the UK after Downing Street agreed China's Huawei can build its 5G network. Sources told the Daily Telegraph a review is underway over every American military and intelligence asset in the UK, which could damage the UK-US special relationship. The most vulnerable is understood to be RC-135s, a highly sophisticated reconnaissance aircraft based in the UK which are used to gather intelligence from the battlefield. An official, who recently left the White House's National Security Council (NSC), said the move was not to punish the UK but rather protect the US. He told the newspaper, "This was not a bluff. You cannot mitigate the danger Boris Johnson is exposing the UK to by letting Huawei into the network. This review is not a punishment. This is the White House saying, okay, if they're going to go down this path and put themselves at risk, then how do we protect ourselves?" The U.S. has advised countries to boycott Huawei, the world's biggest maker of telecoms equipment, in setting up new 5G mobile phone networks over concerns the equipment could be used by China to spy on communications. But relations between the U.S. and China are further strained as U.S. President Donald Trump publicly criticizes Beijing for not doing enough to stop the outbreak of coronavirus when it first emerged in Wuhan. Meanwhile, U.S. Trade Representative Robert Lighthizer has said little publicly about the UK trade talks since publishing a sweeping set of objectives more than a year ago that sought full access for U.S. agriculture products and reduced tariffs for U.S. The Trump administration is looking to shift supply chains back to the U.S. and away from China, where the novel coronavirus originated, and is pushing a Buy American campaign for medical and other supplies. Agriculture is expected to be among the thorniest issues in the talks, given the strong British opposition to U.S. genetically modified crops and antibacterial treatments for poultry. As we start trade talks with the U.S., we want to strike an ambitious deal that opens up new opportunities for our businesses, brings in more investment and creates better jobs for people across the whole of the UK, Trade Secretary Liz Truss said. The talks, expected to last 2 weeks initially, will start with a video conference call on Tuesday, the UK Embassy said. Further rounds will take place approximately every 6 weeks and will be carried out remotely until it is safe to travel. Prime Minister Boris Johnson has vowed to drive a hard bargain, and Ms. Truss has said that Britain would not diminish its food safety standards. Ms. Truss said, "As we start trade talks with the U.S., we want to strike an ambitious deal that opens up new opportunities for our businesses, brings in more investment and creates better jobs for people across the whole of the UK."